Hello everybody, this is Buddy Craig. Okay, plastigage and the connecting rod caps, torquing the connecting rod caps. Plastigage comes in a, well, I think plastigage might be a trade name, just like Band-Aid is for, I don't know, sticky wound closures. Comes in a long sleeve about this, about 12 inches long. And see this scale? This is a green. There's green, red, blue. Those are the only three colors I know, but they do different measurements. And what it is, I can open this up. Yeah, I'll just use my hand. What it is a thin, I think it's kind of a waxy type of substance. But it's this thin plastic or waxy thread, about as big around as, I don't know, a fishing line. And when it's compressed, it spreads out to a very specific width. That's what this gauge is for. Well, obviously you saw how thin that strand of plastigage was. If it smashes down to match up with that first white bar, then that means that you've got 3/1000ths of oil clearance, or you've got 3/1000ths of clearance between whatever two pieces of metal you're compressing. If it smashes out as wide as this green bar, then that means you got 2/1000ths of clearance. If it smashes as wide as this next white bar, it's 1.5 thousandths of clearance. And if it squeezes out as fat as this green bar, then you've got 1 inch of clearance, or 1/1000th of an inch of clearance between it. So, now I gotta walk around here. I already had this looper, I almost said the trade name, or I'm going to lay this piece of plastigage across here, which stinks because this bearing has a hole right in the middle, and that's where I try to do it, is straight down, because if I put it over here off to the side, as I'm tightening down this cap, it might try to roll it and distort the results. So I don't like that hole being right there in the middle. Anyway, this stuff you can cut it with your fingernail, just squeeze it. If you're doing this upside down, you can use a little dab of assembly lube to hold that up against the crankshaft, or you can actually lay it across in the bearing. Okay, so now I've got this piece of plastigage on this journal. I'm going to put the cap on. And I'm going to tighten those nuts down to specification, which is 35 foot-pounds. I'm going to take the cap back off. Yes, this is time consuming. It's very boring and it gets kind of time consuming after you do all of the rod bearings and all of the main bearings, but you definitely don't want to put the engine together and find out that you had the wrong size bearings. Put the engine together, put it in the car, start it all up, you think you're all great, and no. All right, see how, let me see if I can zoom in. I'm already zoomed in. See if I can change the angle so the light's not glaring on it. Yeah, that looks better at my angle anyway. You can see it's no longer green. It kind of became green whitish. I'm going to push the piston down so the rod bolts aren't in my way. Now this gauge, you want to hold this gauge up against the smashed out part, and you match up. Well, it's the smashed out part is wider. It's wider than the first white spot, which is 3/1000. It's wider than the first green stripe, which is 2/1000. It's just about, maybe just a hair, but just barely wider than the second white spot. And the white spot, this second white spot, is 1.5 thousandths. Specification of clearance for the rod journals is 1/1000 to basically 2.7 thousandths, but 1 to 2.5 thousandths of oil clearance. And by this gauge, I'm at 1.5 thousandths, so that is almost as perfect as you can get. Very tight. So that's exactly what I'm happy. That's exactly what I want to look for. This stuff cleans up pretty good. It's kind of like a, I don't know. You ever get like stuff in the mail and they'll send you like a fake credit card, and this credit card is stuck to the main 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper with this weird glue type of boogery substance. That's kind of what this stuff feels like. It's a weird. It's not quite a wax, but it's not really a plastic either, and it's kind of tacky. But it cleans up pretty easy, and that's how you use plastigage. So now that we've done the plastigage part, I'm going to back up real quick, and we will torque down all of our rod bearings. Whoops, sorry about that. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong, sorry. I'm a mechanic, not a cameraman. Also want to make sure that clean up any of that was left in the rod cap. Don't tell anyone. Remember I told you about how I've got a TV over there in the corner that I use to keep me company? I'm watching Psycho tonight. Not the old one, the old black and white one, the new, I don't know, it probably was made in the early 90s. Okay, click, come on. There. I try to balance it out. I try to do like part of a turn here and then part of a turn here until I get the torque wrench to click on me. Okay, that's plastigage and rod bearings. So I guess the next thing I'll do is put in the cam. Thanks. Bye.